Okay, and for one day shot only, you read this question. Okay, first 4 phases is there: prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. Metaphase and anaphase and prophase, you have to draw and label. Don't forget, you have to draw and label, and you have to identify this is metaphase, this is anaphase, this is telophase. Why metaphase, why anaphase, why telophase? It is plant cell or animal cell, and should be labeling 2 points. Okay, each diagram should be labeled 2 points. Understood? So these 4 phases is very important. Then you have to learn the DNA, structure of DNA or structure of chromosome. Structure of DNA and structure of chromosome, and DNA nitrogen base and DNA RNA difference. Nitrogen base, you know, purine and pyrimidine, adenine, guanine, you know, purine, or pyrimidine, cytosine, thymine, and uracil. And listen, adenine always bond with thymine, guanine always bond with cytosine. Okay, this type of question also important. Je, in a DNA 30% ATP is there, 30% adenine is there, so how much thymine is there? Listen, how much? Now if 30% is there A, so T also 30% is there, and G how much is there? Now 30 30 60, total 100, so 100 minus 60, so 40%, so 20% G and C is there. Understood? This type of math also important. Understood, all of you? You understood? Okay. Next, plant karyokinesis, animal karyokinesis also important. Okay, this is the question for first chapter. Okay, next, genetics, some important define and difference is there. যেমন phenotype, genotype, dominant allele, recessive allele, then monohybrid cause, dihybrid cause, and monohybrid cause is the most important. Dihybrid cause also important, but monohybrid cause is the most important. And you have to read a progeny also, sex-linked disease, a progeny. Father is color blindness, mother is normal. So what is the progeny of child? That type of question is important. And to give reason is also important. Sex determined by during fertilization. Okay, and color blindness, sex-linked disease mainly occur in male, not female. This also important. Okay, this type of question also important. And if they are given XX, XY, what? Write the progeny. This type of progeny also important. That the and law, 3 law, that is Mendel's 3 law, and why Mendel select pea plant. Okay, and the scientific name of pea plant, Pisum sativa, very important. Okay, next, absorption by root, also important. Structure of root, and when is cell kept in hypertonic, hypotonic, isotonic, what will be changed the occur? This also important. Okay, this is the important. And they are also important question: plasmolysis, deplasmolysis, target, flaccid, this type of define and difference also important. Okay, understood? An experiment of absorption, you know, osmosis when occur, they are semi-permeable membrane is there. This type of structure you can identify easily. Okay, cell membrane, root hair. Then transpiration, define transpiration, adaptation transpiration, and factor transpiration. Okay, and structure of stomata and its mechanism. Stomata drawing, important question this year. Drawing of stomata, very important question. Okay, and types of transpiration: lenticular transpiration, cuticular transpiration, you know that name of the. And Cobalt chloride paper test. Upper page, upper side and lower side. The lower side is cobalt chloride paper is more pink than the upper side. Why? Because more lower side is more stomata is present. Very important question. Okay, and types experiment of transpiration. Gannum spotometer also important. what is photometer, and you have to learn different types of photometer, Darwin's photometer. Okay, you know that different types of photometer, and what is rotation. Okay, that's about the transpiration. Then photosynthesis, structure of chloroplast.
Lysis, photophosphorylation, Q10 law, solarization, optimum temperature, these are the important. Okay, dark phase, light phase, the difference important. Some factor of photosynthesis also important, and all place in is grass. This type of
Give resin also important. Okay, and photosynthesis, transpiration depend on photosynthesis. This also important. Okay, and the experiment, the 5 steps, if you learn, then you can write any experiment of photosynthesis. First, you have to discharge. Number 2, then you have to boil the leaf, boil with alcohol water. Then you methylated spirit, remove the chlorophyll. Then again boil for softening the leaf, and then add the iodine for starch test. If it is blue-black, starch test positive. If it is gray, starch test negative. This is the 5 steps, is very important. Okay, this type of question also come. Okay, and which light more photosynthesis occur? You know, red, and first red, then blue. Okay, then plant chemical coordination. There each hormone 2 function, auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin 2 function, gaseous hormone ethylene, stress hormone ABA, full form of ABA,
form of IA, NA, 2,4-D, these are the important. And tropic movement and clinostat experiment. Okay, tropic movement, you know, phototropic, thermotropic, geotropic, this type of movement.
Experiment. And chemotropic, this is very important, chemotropic experiment. Okay, that's the tropic movement. Then blood circulation, fill in the blanks, maybe come from this chapter. I think the circulatory is any physiological part. Circulatory system, there WBC RBC difference, artery vein difference, structural difference you have to draw, and diapedesis. Okay, and RH factor, blood group, universal donor, universal recipient, PSPN, that type of case-based question also there, important. If blood group some person O, they can give any person. This is because O is the universal donor. O does not contain any antigen. This is the very key point. O does not contain any antigen, and AB does not contain any antibody. Okay, and blood and cardiac phase is important. Cardiac phase means systole or diastole. This is important. Okay, this phase, arrow is indicated the which phase. If the blood comes to the ventricle, then ventricular diastole. If blood away from the ventricle, then ventricular systole. Don't forget it, very important question. And in any cross is there, hepatic portal system also there, important. Hepatic portal system. Okay. Okay. Next, and you have to draw RBC, WBC, platelets. This is important question. Okay. Then excretory system, you have to draw neuron structure, and kidney, LS of kidney also important. Okay, and hematuria, glycosuria, uremia, this type of disease, and what is osmoregulation and dialysis. Okay, next chapter, nervous system, different parts of cerebrum, their function and location. Okay, মানে brain function and location, covering of brain, you know, meninges, location, function, protection, shock absorber. Okay, and their important is reflex arc picture. Reflex arc, very important. Reflex arc, and cranial nerve, spinal nerve difference also important. Okay, and somatic nervous system, autonomic nervous system also, and structure of neuron, very important. Structure of neuron, dendron, axon, what is synapse. Okay, and name neurotransmitter acetylcholine, you know that. Okay, these are the from reflex action, and reflex action a case based question also important from this chapter. Then eye the structure, location, function, rod cell, cone cell, aqueous chamber, vitreous chamber, you know that. Color blind and night blind, and myopia, hypermetropia, cause, effect, and rectify. Okay, this is very important structure. Understood? Then internally
practice must, very important. Semicircular is there, okay,
and semicircular canal and what
also there.
Okay, this is the function and draw picture.
And function of
Ear means on another is hearing, another is balancing. Balancing, you know, semicircular canal for dynamic balance, and vestibule is the static balance. Dynamic balance means during motion, that balance, and static balance means during rest, that balance. Okay, then eustachian tube is important, location and function. Then pituitary gland structure, thyroid gland structure, important, and their location, function, and hypersecretion, hyposecretion. Okay, and adrenal addition disease, Cone syndrome. Cone syndrome is important. ঠিক আছে, Cushing syndrome important, and Forest gland, and why adrenal is called emergency gland, why pancreas is called mixed gland, heterocrine gland. Okay, difference
and endocrine and feedback mechanism, which hormone helps. Okay, and one male hormone, one female hormone, and their function. Okay, and virilism, important, virilism. Structure, you know.
Then reproduction,
male,
both report
structure, different parts, function.
Their gland, prostate gland, seminal vesicle, this gland, and location and function, seminiferous tube, epididymis, their location and major function. Okay, and structure of sperm, okay, and structure of ovary is important. They are present corpus luteum, Graafian follicle, very important. What is Graafian follicle? What is corpus luteum? What is, name the hormone secret from the corpus luteum. Okay, these are the important. What is puberty? And menstrual cycle, fourth name phase of menstrual cycle, fourth phase only name. And implantation, fertilization, gestation period define. Okay, and structure of function of placenta. What is placenta? Function of placenta. Okay, and they are twins, identical twins, non-identical twins, very important. Means fraternal twins, non-identical twins, and test tube baby, and amniocentesis process also important. Amniocentesis process also important. Okay, and the structure of embryo is very important. Next, fetus and embryo difference, and the fertilization process steps, 1 2 3 4 steps, fertilization process also important. Okay, then human population, what is demography, mortality, natality, population density, increase, why population in India, why world. Okay, and what are the effect increase, and what is the advantage of small family, very important. And then the method, permanent method, vasectomy and tubectomy also important. Okay, and human evolution, all steps wise name you have to learn. Means human steps, first Australopithecus, Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Neanderthal, Cro-Magnon, step by step, two characters, and handyman, what are handyman and why, and one feature is there, structure is there, you have to identify this species, which type, Homo habilis, Neanderthal, Cro-Magnon, you have to identify and why. Okay, and there are two feature, and natural selection and use and disuse, giraffes experiment, you know that, natural selection, and industrial mechanism also important. Okay, and the pollution, air pollution, wind pollution, different types of pollution, you can easily write this effect, harmful effect of this pollution, and thermal pollution. Okay, and biodegradable waste, non-biodegradable waste, very important. Okay, and oil spill important, radioactive pollution also, what are the radioactive pollution, and how, what are the harmful effect of radioactive pollution, this is important. And acid rain and ozone hole, this is also important. The picture of ozone hole may be this is important, মানে causes and its effect, okay, and full form CFC important, and ACTH, RUBP, NADP, and IA, IBA, okay, ATP, ADP, these are the full form important. Okay, student, that's